one of the biggest lessons that I've learned since I was younger, when I used to play higher level football, was the fact that do the hard work or either go home. I mean, it seems obvious to us, right? Whenever we try to become a professional athlete or whenever we see others trying to become professional athletes, the players who make the most sacrifices, the players who works the hardest on the right things, they are the ones who typically become professional athletes, right? Players who don't have it in them, the players who are not really focused and they're just kind of, they have the skill, but they're not hardworking. They're the ones who don't end up becoming professional. They're the ones who end up working the normal jobs. You know how a lot of big teams hold tryouts for professional, players. So if you make the tryouts, if you do good, then you become professional. That is one of the biggest reality checks ever. You either become a professional that night or you go home and that's it. I wasted an entire year trying to be an entrepreneur. An entire year went by because I ended up achieving nothing because I did fake work. My day consisted of me waking up and somehow convincing my brain to do something else instead of actually doing the work that was necessary. I've been in the trenches, and that's why I believe that I have some level of expertise, and so I feel like I can actually help you stop doing fake work. So how do we actually stop doing fake work? The most important tip, and I believe, again, no matter what anyone else tells you, I feel like this is one of the most important tips, which is follow the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule is where you get 80% of the results with only 20% of the effort. You see, most work is BS. If I change my YouTube banner or my YouTube profile picture, that would legitimately help me get zero growth at all. And that would do nothing for my growth. But let's say I had a 16-hour day and I only took out 1 hour out of the day to just record one YouTube video. And let's say I wasted the entire day after that. That is still much better than me pretending to work and doing fake work like changing YouTube banners and making a random thumbnail, because that one video could blow up and change the trajectory of my channel forever. So figure out what are the most important tasks for your work, for your business, for your school, for anything. What will give you 80% of the results with only 20% of the effort? I recommend you make a task list with maximum 3 to 4 tasks that will give you the most results for your work. For example, for me, I just have to script, record, edit, and upload 4 things. And I guess uploading, it doesn't even count as work because I just have to press one button. But those 3 things are really the ones that will get me the most result. And once you've finished your main task, once you've finished your real work, then you can move on to doing some shallow work. Maybe then you can change your YouTube banner because then you finished your work. Now you can do whatever else. And a great way for you to know what tasks to do is think about the tasks that you hate to do. Think about the tasks that you don't look forward to doing. Think about the tasks that when you think about it, you skip doing it. Those are probably the tasks you should be doing. A man that is scared to push himself is docile and weak. I'm sure you've noticed the difference now. The difference between a person who gets his work done and achieves his goal compared to the person who gets nothing done and pretends to be productive all day but really has nothing. The difference between those two is that this person, the one who achieves his goal, was the person who can just endure pain, who invites pain, and who sits through pain until his work is finished. A man that is scared to push himself is docile and is weak, and I believe is not deserving of any level of success. And they deserve to be where they are, and that's not harsh. I'm not trying to be harsh here. That is the blatant truth. A man who doesn't help himself, why would Allah help him? And so I believe that a man who is a reflection of his actions. So if his actions are avoiding pain, procrastinating, doing the easy work, but then really getting nothing done, he deserves to be where he is in the world right now. I mean, just imagine a scenario where you're watching a YouTube video, you've started the day all wrong and now you're watching a YouTube video and you get a scary reminder that you have an essay coming up. Now, you tell yourself that, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do this essay after this YouTube video, right? So you're already procrastinating. However, okay, you told yourself you're going to be doing this essay. 5 YouTube videos go by without you even noticing, and then you try to start the essay, and then now you feel too tired. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I need to go eat. By the time you do all of this, the day ends, and you tell yourself that you're going to be doing the essay first thing tomorrow morning. That is how an average person lives. They procrastinate and they take no action. But let me tell you that there is literally no point in avoiding pain, because you'll only be in more pain and you'll feel 10 times worse if you avoid pain right now. This mindset has helped me a lot because the more I avoid pain and the more I take pleasure and seek pleasure instead of doing the hard work, the more I'm lowering my ability to achieve some level of success. Humans are naturally biologically chained and biologically wired to move against pain, to move towards pleasure. We also realize that hard work and the work that we have to suffer the most, when we suffer the most, when we are the most disciplined, that's when we get the most results. I mean, you see it, pressure makes diamonds. That's one quote. Without darkness, there is no light. There is another quote. We hear these every single day, but most people just believe their lives are different and these things don't matter to them, or these things are not applicable to their lives. The fact is, we just have to sit through the pain and just know that if you are sitting through the pain and if you're working, regardless of how you feel and if you're disciplined, you will be 10 times happier. And 10 years later, you'll look back at your life in a Ferrari that you just bought. And you're going to look back and you're going to be like, wow, I'm glad I sat through the pain. Compared to most of the population, they seek pleasure. They don't go through the pain. And then 10 years later, they're in rush hour with their beat up Toyota Corolla in traffic. And they're literally contemplating and they're complaining and they're sad. They're depressed. Why? Because they seek pleasure instead of doing the hard work. And now 10 years later, they're working at a job that they hate and they're in rush hour and they're depressed and they're unmotivated and they're fat and they're lazy. This is all because you didn't sit through the pain now. Now, either way, we have to be grateful to Allah for both scenarios. However, there is no denying that you are also a result of your actions. This is a reality check. Do the work or go home. Stop wasting time. I'll be honest with you, it's actually up to you. Allah did give us free will, and you want to achieve big things. You want to be able to be productive, but you don't want to change yourself. We've seen this in every single movie. We've seen this in documentaries. We've seen this with, the lives of Ronaldo, all of these people. It's either you change your identity, you just tell yourself, I just have to be disciplined. I just have to sit through this. Or you just don't do it. Like, don't pretend to do it, because you'll be in 10 times more pain if you pretend to do the work and then you achieve nothing compared to you not doing it in the first place. If you truly look at yourself and be like, okay, you know what? I can't. It's too much for me. I need to have some sort of pleasure. Then just tell yourself that's fine. If that's the life you want to live, that's fine, right? But do not tell yourself, oh yeah, I want to achieve big things. I want to be an entrepreneur, or I want to get a really good mark in university class in A+. But then you're doing the fake work and you're pretending to do that. Like, don't pretend. Either you do it or you don't do it. And that's the mindset that we have to accept, and that's the reality of life. I'm sorry, I wish it could be some other way, but it's not. So this video was a little bit harsh. I'm sorry that I had to point this and direct you to this. That's just a reality check of life. However, for the people that said, no, you know what, I want to be disciplined. I want to make sure that 10 years down the line, I don't regret my life. I don't regret my actions. I don't regret my decisions. And I will do the real work. I will follow the 80-20 rule. And I will have these mindsets in order for me to keep going. I will sit through the pain because I know that what will give me the most results. If you are one of these people, one thing I've noticed is that you might be motivated right now, but sometimes 3 to 4 days down, maybe you might lose that motivation and you might go back to your fake work and you might go back to being a procrastinator. And so I've released a productivity course called Productivity 101, where I actually show you how to completely transform your identity so you can be productive, not just for a few days, but for the rest of your life. All right, this is where you change your identity to the disciplined, self-improvement person that you want it to be. I'll leave a link in the description below. Anyways, hopefully you benefited. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.